In this video, I'm going to talk about 10 things I really like about the Suzuki DR650. In no particular order, the bike is extremely easy to work on. The bolts are large, easy to get to. Nothing is, it's pretty open spaces when you're inside the, inside the engine area. The valves, to check the valves is really easy. Adjusting them is a little trickier, but it's not rocket science. You have quite a bit of room to work around. The low end torque, oh man, that's got to be one of the best things about these bikes. The torque comes on just right off idle and just pulls really strong. I've had bigger, more powerful bikes that didn't feel as powerful just because of how early the torque comes on in these. Makes it really enjoyable to ride and easier to ride, in my opinion. It gets decent gas mileage if you're just riding around, in I would say a normal normal manner. I usually get around 50 miles to the gallon, and even if I'm getting on it, probably 45. The bikes are very easy to lower compared to some other bikes. You can take the forks apart, and they're very easy to take apart and put back together. They're the old school. There's a spring and some spacers. You just flip some spacers around, put them back together, and it's about 1.5 inches lower. And the same thing in the back. There's just an extra hole right here, and you just move the bolt from this hole to that hole, and that lowers the rear 1.5 inches. Very easy. The bike handles really well. I found that it always tracks really straight. If I'm bombing down a Jeep trail, maybe it's a little bit rocky. The bike, I never felt like I needed a steering stabilizer on this bike. So I must have a kind of a relaxed geometry. It has a fairly wide ratio transmission. Some people complain that it doesn't have a 6-speed, and I would prefer a 6-speed as well. But even between first and fifth, it's a pretty broad range. First is a bit on the high side, so it doesn't do good in slow technical sections, because you have to slip the clutch in order to go slower than it wants to go. And of course you can change the gearing, but that has limitations as well. It's a very reliable bike. It's old school. There's no radiators, other than just a few minor things. The NSU screws that you need to put some Loctite on. Not a lot of weaknesses on this bike. It handles a wide range of terrain really well. Well, I would say really well. So it excels at back roads, where the speed limit is 45. Gravel roads, that's where it's happy. Jeep trails or double track trails that aren't too technical or too rocky. The places that it doesn't do so well are mud, sand, or technical single track where there's a lot of elevation change and off camber stuff, because it's a heavy bike. It weighs 366 pounds wet, plus any add-ons you put on, so it's not really a bike to ride single track in. It's very low maintenance. Just change the oil every 3,000 miles. Check the valves, I think, every 7. Change your air filter, clean your air filter. That's about it. Let's see. Oh, the aftermarket support for this bike is phenomenal. In fact, I don't know of any other bike that has stronger aftermarket support than the Suzuki DR650. If you have one, check out procycle.com. You'll be amazed. You can just spend thousands and thousands of dollars on cool aftermarket stuff. It has decent suspension, you know, for a stock dual sport. It comes soft, so if you just put stiffer springs in, that's the best thing you can do. I haven't done any revalving. I did the factory lowering and I put stiffer springs in, and for dual sport type riding, I think it does pretty well. And it has a fairly low seat height. You know, for some of the dual sports now are getting pretty tall, so you know, it's not as low as a street bike, but for a bike with, you know, decent clearance, it's seat height's not too bad. All right, there's another video of 15 or 17 things that I dislike about the DR, so check that out if you're interested. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.